brown beers. They come from England.
England, eh?
Hey, Beerocrats, I'm Paulette. Look who's back!
It's me. I'm producer Ryan, and I'm back in brown, I think.
Well,
I'm wearing blue, purple, but we have some brown ales, and it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, what do we know about browns?
I just learned that they come in from England. That's what I'm learning.
They did originate in England. The two we chose are the Newcastle Brown, which actually is made in Holland, but we'll get to that, and the Bell's Brewery out of Michigan, their best brown.
I mean, that's not England at all.
Well, I mean, Americans do things too.
We do. America. Drink beer.
First up is a beer that's 90-ish years old.
That is a very old beer. I hope it stands up to the test of time.
Newcastle is one of the go-to brown ales of British origin. However, it was sold to a conglomerate that now brews it in Holland. So that's interesting.
Hey, Miller Lite is still Milwaukee, no matter who's bought it at this point. So Newcastle is still English.
Okay, I will accept that. Now, the interesting thing is that it comes in a clear bottle.
Just like a Corona.
Which is why a Corona tastes bad. Beer is light sensitive. Like, the ingredients in beer are sensitive to light, and if they get hit with too much ultraviolet light, they spoil.
Like me.
So let's see how the Newcastle stands up. Do you want to give us a little pour?
Let's pour it out and see what happens.
What we're going to see is medium carbonation, medium to darker brown. It shouldn't be as dark as a porter, which is another English-style beer.
It's like those English made a lot of the beers.
The English did make a lot of beers. Remember our IPA episodes? Look at that thick head.
Ooh.
It's nice and dark, but clear. No cloudiness there.
I mean, I'm definitely getting a lot of that kind of chocolate, caramelly aroma from that.
I will admit, before I started getting into beer, I did not care for this. I thought this beer was terrible.
I think I agree with that. But
now that I've had a lot of different browns, and they range from more bitter to more malty on the sweeter end, I think this one's a tad bitter for what I was expecting from a British brown.
Maybe a little bit.
Or an English brown, yeah. I'm sorry, that's the proper term. But it's not bad, which again is surprising because it was in a clear bottle.
Oh, this is totally drinkable. It's maybe a little bit light. I don't know what the other brown's going to be like, but...
Yeah, this one is under 5%, right? 4-point-something%. So
pretty light.
Really easy drinking. Medium mouth heaviness. The mouth feels kind of medium. Not too light, not too heavy.
No, I mean, this is just pretty solid. It's easy to drink, well-balanced. I'd drink it again. What beer do we have next here, babe?
The next beer is the Bell's Brewing Brown.
Is it the best brown?
It's the best brown. Which, according to the Beer Judging Certification Program, is one of the stylistic choices. So if we were, like we did in the episode where we calibrated against your clone beer, this would be a beer to judge all other American browns.
And this is different. Yeah, I was going to say, this is an American brown. A little different from the English brown. It's fairly loosely based, whatever that's supposed to mean. A lot of times the American beers are a little bit, they have more punch, so in this case it should be maybe a little bit more caramelly, a little bit more maltiness, maybe a little bit more bitterness.
Actually, a little bit more bitterness than maltiness.
We see a little bit more color here. It's a little darker.
Yeah, so American browns are a tad bit darker than British browns, and that's true across the board. I mean, there will be some overlap, but an American brown can be darker and still be to style. The head was super long lasting on this, and it's a little bit off-white tan in color. How's it tasting to you, Ryan?
I mean, I think it has a lot of flavor. A little bit more so than the last one we had, the Newcastle.
Yeah. And it's also in a brown bottle.
Yeah, so maybe that's why maybe the Newcastle would taste better if it was in a brown bottle. That would help to add to the brown beerness of it.
Well, maybe that's part of the experience. It's exposed to a little bit of UV light, and it changes the flavor, and that's how it's supposed to taste. I don't know.
UV never know.
UV never know. So we had this at a tasting with Bell's Brewery recently, and I really liked it. I was surprised because American browns can really run the gamut from super malt forward, which means they would be sweeter, to super bitter, which means I wouldn't like it. So Ryan has a bit more tolerance for bitterness.
I do, I think. Plus, I mean, you get
a good balance, though.
You get maybe a little bit of coffeeness. You shouldn't get too much roastiness. If you're getting roastiness, you're probably going too far. You kind of mentioned earlier the porter.
The porter would be
related,
more roast.
And the stout would be like too roasty,
toast.
So you want to be even below that.
Yeah, so this is nutty.
A little bit of toast, a little bit of nutty, no roast.
No roast.
No roast buddy.
No coffee flavors in this one, really. Those were browns, both British and American versions. Ryan, which one did you prefer?
I think I like the Bell's Best just a little bit better because it was a little bit browner, a little less bitter, and it was also more alcoholic, which I do like in beers.
Right, yeah. So the Newcastle Dutch British had a balance to it that was different from the balance from the Bell's American because
I will say
I was nuttier.
Yeah, I was surprised because I feel like Newcastle is one of those old beers that I've had when I was younger. But now that I've drank a lot more beer since then, I think I like it more than I used to.
Agreed. So we joke a lot about our palates maturing here on this YouTube channel, but it's true. When you're exposed to a variety of different things, sometimes you come back to something that you thought initially you didn't like, and maybe now it's a little different for you because, again, you've kind of trained your taste buds to pick up different notes and things like that. Or maybe you paired it with like a food that didn't agree with it as well. And, you know, drinking something that is a bit more bitter with a certain food can actually ruin that taste for you. So I will admit that I didn't like Newcastle when I first had it, but I also didn't know much about beer at the time. I think I was in college and I thought it was crappy. And I revised my opinion on that.
Cool, let's go edit our beer check-ins from Untapped for these beers.
Check us out every Wednesday where we drop some beer knowledge on your head here on the YouTube and the Facebook. You can also find us on the rest of the internet, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Beerocrats TV. Producer Ryan.
I speak sometimes. I'm at Ryanarado on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm P-Font. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what kind of beer are you drinking? And do you like brown beer?
Do you?
In the meantime, we'll catch you next week here in the Beerocracy.
Cheers.
Hey, Beerocrats! Need more bureaucracy in your life? Here are 2 more videos you should watch.